Okay, hey Max, I wanted to take a moment and go over the next step that we'll be looking at with this new play slash new adjustment to the offense on Saturday. Um, let's look at how we've been doing the Rocket and some of the things we're going to add on to it. Now, this is just a base formation that we're going to be working with. I'm going to put a couple of names up here as to where I imagine players will be starting. Or by starting, I mean where we're going to be starting off, not necessarily where you'll end up with. We'll have two outside receivers, one to the tight end and one away from the tight end. Towards the tight end, this is where I see Noah, and that's Noah Hickey, and Drayton starting to learn the offense. The other side, the open receiver, this is where I see Jamie and Ryder. Obviously, we've got our quarterbacks and we've got our tailback, which at least to start will be Josh. Out of our two wings, the wing to the tight end side, this is where I see Noah DePiro. And this is where we're also going to try out Cody. And to the other side, the wing on the open side, this is where we could see Mitchie or Keegan. However, for what we do on Saturday, all of you are going to be getting into the mix. Now, for this play, we did a really good job last Saturday at learning this motion and timing it up with the pitch. We'll start by going over that, and everybody will get a chance to do it. Just as an FYI, when we run this play, this rocket toss, this receiver will have a waggle, and then we're going to ask him to go hunting for safeties, which is also going to set us up for a deep pass play to that side, which we're going to run a post. But more about that when we get to spring camp. Noah and Drayton, for this Saturday, we won't have you running this position, but like everybody else, we're going to have you rotate from here, 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 and here. Now, let's talk about what these guys are going to be asked to do on Saturday. I'm going to start from the outside in. So this receiver, Jamie or Ryder, but everybody's going to get a rep. You are going to be blocking the most dangerous man, which is probably going to be the cornerback to your side. Now, how you block him is going to depend on how he lines up. If he lines up traditionally, meaning playing off of you and man, you are going to attack him and you're going to stalk block him. And as you stalk block him, you are going to take him whichever way he goes. You are going to steer the bus. If he wants to go to the inside, steer him that way. If he wants to go to the outside and contain, steer him that way. Don't hold. If he gets outside, you got to let him go and just push him. But you are going to steer this man. Now, if this man plays up on you and press, you take a step to the inside, club, and swim over him. And you run a go to his outside, forcing him to turn his back on the play. Okay so far? If it's man, you steer the bus. If it's press, inside out, and run a go. Now, our win. You're going to have the number 2 man from the sideline in, probably a halfback, playing right about here. Because of this rocket motion, as soon as this pitch happens, this guy is going to be running to the sideline. You have to run flat and fast and try to get to his outside armpit. Flat and fast means this. You're starting straight down the line of scrimmage. Not at him, straight down the line of scrimmage, and then you are turning up. Our goal is to get your hand in his outside armpit, because remember, we're trying to run the ball wide. If you get out here and you can't get to his armpit, you just keep pushing him, and you push him past the play, and the back should cut in and then cut back out. Finally, the tailback. Josh, you are going to start out as the garbage man. And that means on the snap of the ball, you go flat and fast, and you head up in this alley, and you just take care of any garbage at all. Now, where's that garbage going to come from? Probably the inside out. But if this player, the corner, has dropped back into a zone, then our receiver shouldn't be blocking him. If he drops back into a zone, our receiver should be blocking here. And Josh, you would need to see that and continue to the outside to find someone. Final thing. One of the formations we're going to use is called tight, where our receiver, Jamie, or Ryder won't line up wide, but they'll line up right about here. Tighter to the line of scrimmage. That should pull the corner in and that half in. And if we line up in tight, that receiver is going to block down on the half, and our wing is going to fold over on the corner. And then, Josh, you're still doing the same thing. You're looking for garbage. So on Saturday, here's what we want to be able to do. We want to be able to run the rocket toss to the right and the left, and we're going to rotate you between these positions. 1, 2, 3, and 4, except 4 will be wider. And you're just going to keep rotating through all of those positions, getting as many reps in as we can throwing it to the right, and then as many reps in as we can throwing it to the left. Take a look at some of these game clips of these positions and their blocks. I'll see you Saturday.
So, coaches, the next player that we will talk about is our play side slot. This is another critical block for us because he needs to release flat and fast, get width, and then try to get to the outside shoulder of the first man outside. Some perimeter blocking teams have a count system. They go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, when we go in motion and people stem and people rotate, that count might change. So we just say first man outside. Okay, we want to release flat and fast. If we take any sort of upfield angle to try to get to an outside backer or safety, they're going to beat us to the spot. So we will drill this with a cone outside where we are going to release flat and fast, try to get to the outside shoulder of the first man outside. So here's what it looks like right here. We're looking at this front side player here. And you can see he is working hard, flat and fast to get to that outside shoulder right there. Good flat and fast release. Good job getting to the outside shoulder, and that gets us to the edge. Other one right here, different school that I was at. Front side slot right here. Flat and fast, outside shoulder. That's technique. That's good technique right there. Again, full speed right here. Release flat and fast, get to the outside shoulder, and get us to the perimeter. Now, one thing with this, if we're playing like an overhang defense and this player starts to cheat out as we're coming in motion towards him, okay, the first thing we're going to do if they start cheating out is we're going to start running off tackle on them. But if we cannot overtake them, we are going to drive them to the sideline. If they're determined to keep contained, we're going to use their momentum against them and drive them to the sideline. And then the ball carrier needs to see the numbers of our front side slot. If he sees his numbers, cut inside, get back outside, which we'll talk about that here in a minute. So here's what this looks like. Front side slot, this overhang backer right here cheats to the outside. We can't overtake him, so we just drive him outside. We cut up right there, and he does a great job of taking his momentum and driving him out. Now, one thing I'll say, we'll talk about this a little bit later. When we cut up, we want to get back outside, and you'll see that our receiver has this defender pinned inside, we teach up and then back outside. And if he would have done that, he probably would have scored a touchdown. But instead, he cuts into traffic, and then he's done. Coaches, now we're going to talk about when we have a tailback in the backfield and how we have him lead out of the backfield. The first thing he's going to do as soon as the ball is snapped, he's going to flash his eyes to the perimeter to see if there's a corner blitz, an outside linebacker blitz, anything coming outside where our slot might not be able to reach it. He is responsible for trying to pick that up very quickly. And then as he leads around, his eyes are going to come back inside, and he's looking to clean up any trash from any blocks that might have been missed. So here's what it looks like on film. Snap the ball, eyes flash outside right away, lead around the edge, eyes come back inside, and we look for the trash right there. Eyes outside, eyes inside, pick up the trash. Next one right here, different player, eyes flash outside, comes outside, finds the trash. Next one right here from Broomfield. This is a great pickup by our tailback right here. Eyes flash outside. Got the blitz off the edge. They didn't do this very often after this play in the first quarter. Next one right here. Good job by our tailback. Eyes outside. Find the trash. Take them out. Last one right here. Now this is a good pickup. Our slot right here whiffs on this block right here. And our tailback does a good job of recognizing that and then picking up that trash right there. So coaches, any perimeter run game, you're going to have good blocking out on the edge, and that starts with our wide receivers. So if we have a wide receiver on the backside, what he's going to do is take a cutoff pursuit and try to stop block a corner, try to get in the way of a safety on the backside. Really, it's going to be impossible for them to get too much to the play side, but we're just going to try to cut off some backside pursuit right here. Our front side wide receiver is critical. This is a critical stock block for us. What we're going to do is we're going to release like we're releasing on a pass. We're going to break down a few yards before we get to the corner. If players sprint right up on the toes of the corner, they're easily going to get around them, so we tell them to break down very soon. What we want them to do is sink their hips. We want them to have their feet out like a duck walk, like the old school offensive line duck walk, because we figure where the toes are pointing, that's where your base is going to go. And if our toes are pointing out, our base is going to be wide, and we're going to be able to block this corner. And we're really just going to mirror him and let him go where he wants to go and keep our body between him and the ball carrier. A lot of times we're going to pin him to the sideline. Sometimes we're going to seal him inside like this, but we want to make sure that we come off the line quickly, break down very early, and then just mirror him with a low center of gravity. So here it is right here. This first one right here, we're going to show how we pin a player to the sideline right here. So this is good technique right here. We're just going to pin the player to the sideline and create a lane for our back to run through right there. Next one right here is a great job. You'll see the technique on field right here of the duck walk, sinking the hips. We're going to sink the hips, toes are pointing out, toes are pointing out, toes are pointing out. We're just taking the defender to the sideline. So here it is again in full speed. Sink the hips, toes pointing out. Keep my body between him and the ball carrier. Next one right here, different alignment, different player, same exact technique. Release out right there, and notice the toes. Toes are pointing out, sinking the hips, toes are pointing out. That keeps the base wide right there. And we will talk about this more later in the courses when we talk about our blocking techniques.